Yeah, my name is Prasad, and today I'm going to discuss about the Informatica client tools. Uh, as you can see, once you install, as you know, Informatica is in client and server architecture. Client, the server in server, we have Informatica administration homepage where we can connect to the Informatica admin page, administrative page. It will redirect to the administration page, where we can create domain, repository services, integration services. In real time, on server side, it will be taken care by admin. The developers will work on the client tools. You can see here, PowerCenter client. You can under this folder, you can see there are 4 tools: Informatica PowerCenter Designer, Informatica PowerCenter Repository Manager, Workflow Manager, Workflow Monitor. Today we are going to discuss what are the tasks that which we can perform by using these 4 tools. Okay, let us see the Informatica PowerCenter Designer. I'm just connected to the repository Informatica PowerCenter Designer, and you can see this is the Informatica PowerCenter Designer user interface, and this is the repository. Anyhow, we are going to discuss in detail what are the repositories and what are domain and what are the integration services in the upcoming, in this course. But for the time being, as it is an introduction, I'm going to discuss on a high level about each tool. Okay, currently I'm connecting to the repository with my credentials. Okay, as and when you connect to the repository, you can see the folders that are available in this particular repository. Okay, just I'm connecting to the INF folder. Once you connect, right, you can see on the left hand side, you can see this is the navigator window where you can see the folder, sources, targets. You can see a sources, targets, maplets, mappings. Okay, all this can be shown, can see in navigator window. And this is the workspace. This entire thing is in workspace, where we create the mapping, sources, target, designer, everything like in the workspace. And this is an output window. And what are the tasks that which you perform in the workspace, right? You are going to see you're going to see that, like, say for example, if you have created any source, okay, you can see the notifications that which you have create. Say for example, if you create any source, right, that particular source has been created in this folder. That kind of notifications will be seen when we create any source or any target or any mappings. Okay, let us discuss about each of the tool. Okay, you can see here there are 5 more tools in the mapping designer. This is the source analyzer, this is the target designer, this is the transformation developer, this is a maplet designer, and this is a mapping designer. Like, this is a source analyzer. You can see here, this is the source analyzer where we create the sources. For creating sources, there are two ways where we can create the source. One is to connect, one is to import the structure of the table by connecting to the database with the relation connection, and another one is to create manually. So let us see how to create source as well by connecting to the database, or like how to import the source as well as how to create the source manually. Okay, I just clicked on source analyzer and go to sources, import from database, and as you can see here, I have already created 2 relation connections which will connect to our Oracle database. Oh sorry, I forgot to tell you, the database which I am using is the Oracle. Okay, so currently I am connecting, already created 2 relation connection which connect to the database. One out of those 2 connections, one is acting as a source, another one is a target. Okay, first one is a source. I just selected source from the drop down list, and I'm just giving the credentials. I'm using the Scott user. Just connect. As and when you connect to the database, you can see the number of tables that are present in Scott. Okay, if you just expand this, and these are the tables that are available in the Scott user. Let us assume that if you want to import an employee table, and just click this and OK. and this will be imported. You can see this is the structure of EMP table that is existing in the Oracle database. Once you have imported, right, you can just go to the repository and save. Once you save, right, you can see the notifications in the output window saving the repository. This particular employee table has been inserted under repository under folder INF. This is the INF folder, okay, under the source folder. This is the source folder. You can see here the notification. You can just expand this, and under source you can see this is the EMP table currently which we have imported, okay. And now this is the one way of importing the source by connecting to the database and importing the structure. And let us see the another way how to create the source manually. So just go to sources, create, and just I'm selecting EMP, the same table I create. I'm giving the name of the table and source, okay. I'm just and the database is Oracle. And what is the database type? You can select this is a drop down list where you can select what is the database that you are creating. Either you can select Oracle, Teradata, or flat file, what the corresponding database you will create. In our case it is Oracle, okay. Just Oracle and just create. An empty table will be created. You can see this is the table which has been created. Here you need to manually add the columns, okay. So just double click on the source and just go to the columns tab. Here you can see this is an option to add a column, add a new column to this table. Just click on this, it will add a new column to the table, okay, to the table structure. And you can let me connect to the database. One second. We will create the same structure of EMP. So let us connect to the database so that we can see what are the columns that are available in the EMP table, so that we can replicate the same manually. And EMP, and you can see here these are the columns that are available in the EMP table. So the same table I am going to create manually. I'm copying each of the column, employee number, just copy and paste. So for the additional columns also I'm creating column, just copying and paste those column names: employee name, job, manager, and hire date, and salary, and commission, see, Control V, and the department number, okay. So let me, and you can see here these are the options that are available when we create any source, and this is to delete any column, okay. If you click this, right, it will delete that particular column which has been highlighted. Currently new 7 is been highlighted. If I click this, right, it will delete that, okay. And there are two more options. You can see here, copy column for this table. If you select this option, this column, entire column department number will be copied, and this is to paste. If I paste this one, right, it will paste, just copy and paste. It will be it will create a new column with the same data types precision, okay. So I will remove this, and there is one more option. You can see, if you want to move the columns up and down to arrange the columns in an order, you can do this by using this option. Select this, it moves up, and if you select this one, you can move it down, okay. And just I need to provide the database. This is the number, and here you can, in the drop down list, you can select the corresponding data types. This is a number 4. I will give the number 4, and varchar of 10. This is a varchar of 10, and next one is 9. The same structure I'm going to replicate, the same structure I'm going to create manually, okay. This is the number, manager number is manager number is 4 and 4, and hire date is date. One second. Yeah, date. Salary is number. Sorry, date, and this one is salary is number. Commission is also a number. Department number is also a number. Okay, just apply. So this is another way to create the source manually. So we have seen the two ways. One is to connect to the database by using the relation connection and importing the structure. That is a one way which you have already seen, and this is another way by to create manually. Okay, this is about the source analyzer. Now I will save this repository and save, and you can see here it has been saved to Oracle. Because the database here I have given as an Oracle, so it is been saved under Oracle. You can see here is Oracle EMP_SRC. So this is about the source analyzer. Let's move to the target designer. Okay, this target designer is similar to the source analyzer. We can create, like here also we can, in the two ways we can create the targets. Either you can connect to the database or you can import the structure, or else you can create manually. And the one more additional option in the target designer is, once you create any, let us assume that in the previous example we have created EMP_SRC manually. Okay, as this EMP_SRC will not exist in the database, it just has been created the structure of EMP. But with the target designer, if you create, let me import one target, connect to the database, import from database. Here I am using this target connection as a database, database for the target, this target, and I'm just connecting to the database and connect. I will re-import this. I'll re-import some emails. Okay, this is the email I am trying to import. You can see here, this is the table which has been exported by connecting to the database. Okay, let us make a copy of this table. Once I have imported, right, you can go to repository and save. Okay, it has been saved and it will be saved under the targets. You can see, expand these targets. You can see emails. Here is the email. Okay. So let me make a copy of this and try to copy. Just drag and drop there itself. It will ask. It says that this table is already existing. I will just rename it. I will name it as TGT. Okay. And next and finish and repository save. Okay, now this table is now available in Informatica. So if you want to, like, let us assume that I will add one more additional column, employee ID and address. I will ADD. Oh, yeah, address field I have added, and some varchar of 10, and this will be a 50. Okay, I have added one more additional column. Now the same structure I want to create dynamically on the database. So that can be achieved by using the option, go to targets, generate targets, generate execute SQL. If you select this option, right, we can create the same structure in the database. Okay, so now what I will do is, I will just select generate and execute. It will ask for the connection. On which database you want to create this table. I am selecting the target and you need to provide the corresponding credentials. Just press up and just connected. Yeah, I will just select OK. And you can see here under the output window, the create table emails underscore TGT has been processed. So this table has been created. Okay. So now we connect to the database and see whether this table has been created or not. Okay. I will just connect to the database, target. Okay. Let me copy the table name. Select start from EMP-TGT. You can see this table has been created, but you don't have any data. Okay, so just the structure has been created. You can see here. So this is a table which we have created through Informatica. We have dynamically generated that particular table by using the Informatica Target Designer in the database. Okay, so this is how we can create targets. Either we can import from the target database, or else we can create the same target structure in the database. And this is about the target designer. Next we will see what is a transformation developer. These two, transformation developer and the maplet designer, are the two advanced topics. Like it's not that much advanced. Like in the transformation developer, we will create a reusable transformations that can be used among multiple mappings. Let us take an example, like if you are doing some date conversions. Okay, let us assume that you are using the same conversions in the multiple mappings. Instead of creating the same logic in multiple mappings, we can use the same, like we can create the transformation, and we can implement the date logic which we are performing, right? So that logic can be reused among the multiple mappings. So it will reduces the time period for developing the mapping. So the same logic can be used among the multiple mappings. In the transformation developer, we will create reusable transformations. And similarly, it is maplet designer also similar to the transformation developer, but here we will create a set of transformations. In transformation developer, we will create only one transformation that can be used among multiple mappings, but in maplet designer, we can create a set of transformations that can be used across multiple mappings. Okay, so next going to mapping designer. In the mapping designer, we will create the mappings, which mapping is nothing but it represents a data flow, like how the data is flowing from source to target. So it graphically representation of, so you can say that it's a graphical representation of how the data is flowing from source to target. So I will show you one pass-through mapping. Just it's one-to-one mapping. We are not applying any transformations. Just we will see an example how to create a mapping. Okay. Just I am selecting EMP. I'm just drag and drop this EMP table, and it asks for the mapping name. Just m_demo. Let me give it as pass-through. Okay, and okay. You can see here I just dragged and dropped. As and when I drag and drop the EMP source into the workspace, you can see an additional transformation is associated with EMP table. So this is called source qualifier transformation. Whenever you drag and drop any flat file or relational table, so a source qualifier will be associated with the source. Okay, so what is the use of source qualifier? So the use of source qualifier is to convert the data types into Informatica data types so that Informatica can recognize. Okay, so this is a source qualifier, and next we will drag and drop. We need a target to load the data. I will let me import the target EMP. Clear all. This target, import from database and connect tables, and I will import. And there is one more option here I forgot to explain, and here as you can see there is a search tab. If you have so much tables in your database, you can just search for it. Just it will show up the table name which contains the employee. So this will make our to search, it will be very much easier to find out the table that you are looking for. Okay, EMP TGT load, and just okay. It says it's all existing, just replace it. Just okay. I have imported the employee table. Okay, just repository and save. Okay, and now I will use this employee_TGT as a target. Sorry, delete this. EMP, yeah, this one, yeah. employee underscore target and tgt underscore load. I will just connect this. I will connect to the target. So now you can see I have created one pass-through mapping. It just loads the data, whatever the data that is present in the EMP table will be loaded into this target. So this is an pass-through mapping. We are not implementing any transformations, and this is how we create a mapping repository and save. The mapping creation has been done. So this is about on a high level, this is about the Informatica PowerCenter Designer. Most of the times, like 70% of the work will be done in the PowerCenter Designer, and you can see these are the transformations that which we use, and these are the shortcuts for the transformations that which you use in the Informatica. We are going to discuss in the upcoming classes. So these are the transformations that are available in Informatica. And next we will see, so the mapping has been created and we need a session to execute the mapping. So that can be created by using the workflow manager. Let's see about the workflow manager. Just click on W and it will automatically opens the workflow manager. Here it's like same, this is a navigator window, same like as in PowerCenter Designer. You can see the output window here, you can see the notifications, and this is the workspace. And let us see how to create a workflow. I'm going to workflow, create, and WF. This is the naming standards which we follow when we create any workflows. Let us copy the name and go to Informatica PowerCenter and just Control V. And just delete the mapping. Okay, M underscore, and just OK. So now you can see workflow has been created. Now we will create a task, session task. Go to tasks, create, and the naming convention for the session is S underscore the mapping name, so that you can easily identify that the particular session is associated with this mapping. Just create, and it will ask to which mapping you want to associate with. It is a pass-through mapping which we have created. This is the mapping which we have created now, pass-through, and OK, and just done. Okay, and now we need to link this workflow and session. Sorry, and this is the link tasks. With this we can link the tasks. Just click on this and just link the workflow and session. Okay, once you connect it right, just go to repository and save. And yeah, session is nothing but, for every session is nothing but each and every session will be associated with a mapping. Session contains all the information required, like relation connections, what are the connections for the source, and what are the connections for the target, and if it is a flat file, and what are the paths from which it needs to pick the source file. So this kind of information will be passed in the session. Okay, just double click on this and go to mapping tab, and we will provide the same connections. Okay, we'll provide the connections. Just click on this and source. This is the source which we source relation connections which we use for the Scott user, and this for the target, and OK. Just bulk and off. Just apply and OK, and go to repository and save. So now you can see we have created, we have created session that which is associated with this mapping. Okay, this mapping. To execute any mapping, we need a session, so which contains all the information, like where is the the source connection, target connection, everything. We will provide all the information in the session properties. Just now, if you can double click on this, you can see here what is the mapping name that which has been associated with this session. Okay, and just okay. And you, as you can see here, there are two more tabs here: task developer and workload designer. The task developer, in which where we like, if you want to use the same session in multiple workflows, we can create the reusable tasks in the task developer. Okay. And similarly, the workload designer, we can create the workloads here. Workloads we are going to discuss in the upcoming classes. And next, we will see how to execute this workflow. Okay, just right click here on the workspace and you can see the option start workflows. You can just start workflow. Okay, you can see as and when you trigger the workflow, right, you can see the Informatica workflow monitor has been popped up. You can see here the status in the Informatica PowerCenter workflow monitor. You can see the status of workflows that are running. Okay, whether it got succeeded, failed. Okay, what are the number of records that has been loaded. Just I'm going to show you how you are going to see all those details. Just double click on the session. You can see here under the task details, you can see this is the instance name, the session name, and what is the type of task, it is session, and what is the integration that has been, integration service that has been used for the integration, and this is the node, and what is the start time, and this is the end time, whether it got succeeded or failed, the status, and the number of records that has been read from the source, and then the number of records that has been loaded into the target. Okay, and now you can see here these are the source and target statistics. You can clearly see here what is the number of records that has been read from the source and what are the number of records that has been loaded into the target. Okay, so we will see whether this records has been loaded into the target or not. Just this is the let me copy the name, emp_tgt load. This is the table which has been loaded. Control V and select start from empt. Yeah, you can see here the 15 records has been loaded. These are the records which we have read from the EMP and loaded into the target. These are the 15 records. Okay, we are not applying any transformations. We are just trying to load one-to-one mapping. Okay, so the entire data we are trying to load into one table, a target table, which is nothing but emp_tgt_load. And there is one more option. We can preview the data from the Informatica itself instead of connecting to the database. Just right click on the target, preview data. You need to give the credentials like which database you are referring to, target, and username Prasad. This is my target username, and connect. And you can see the same data here also without connecting to the database. These are the records that has been loaded into the target. Similarly, you can preview the data of source also, preview data, and you can need to select the corresponding source database, source relation connection, sorry, and you need to provide the credentials and just connect. Okay, and these are the connections, sorry, these are the records that has been loaded into the target. So this is about the Informatica PowerCenter workflow as well as the PowerCenter designer. So in PowerCenter workflow manager, we will create the sessions and we will create some tasks, and we have a lot of tasks which we can create in the workflow manager. You can see here the list of tasks. You can see the command task, email task, and decision task, and this is a assignment and the timer and the event trace event. There are a lot of tasks that which we can create, and we are going to see in the upcoming course. Okay, in the upcoming classes. And next, you can see Informatica PowerCenter design workflow monitor is to monitor the workflows that are running, and if something got failed, okay, you can easily debug by using the session log. Here is an option called, you can see here, get the session log option. If you click on this, right, you will get the in detail session log where we can debug. You can see here the detailed statistics you can see here in the session log. Okay, what are the records that has been loaded and what is the query that has been fired to the database. Okay, I just selected the option truncate before loading to the data, so you can see here this is the query which has been fired to the database. Again, you can see the target load statistics here. Requested 15 and applied 15 and affected 15. So if anything got failed, right, if something goes wrong and due to some reason it got failed, you can easily debug by using the session log. Okay. And next we have Informatica PowerCenter Repository Manager 9.0 Client, PowerCenter Client and Repository Manager. Okay. Yeah, in the repository manager is used to create the folders currently that which you are working. You can see these folders, right? These folders can be created by using the repository manager. In real time, we won't create any folders. This will be performed by the administrator. Just we should have a knowledge like how to folders are, how to create a folder. Just go to folder, create. As and when you select the option create, you can give the name whatever you want. Just give it as demo 1, and it will there is one more tab you can see here, permissions. These are the permissions. If you want to give the administration permissions or native permissions or some others, you can see here. If you select other slide, you can provide either read, write or execute permissions. Okay. If you want to give only read permissions, you can, if you select this, the user will have only, so that the particular folder will have only read access. Okay, if you select this option also, you can write or edit whatever you want, or if you select this execute, you can execute also. So these are the options that which we can select when we creating any folder. Currently I am selecting the administrator so that we can perform all the tasks. Just select and the folder has been created. This is the demo folder that which you have currently created. And the another one, like another tasks that which we can perform with the repository manager to migrate one code, like the entire mapping. Okay, mapping from one environment to another environment. Okay, in real time, like we have the repository, different repositories for the development and QA and UAT. Okay, once you are done with the development, right, we can migrate the entire mapping, sorry, entire workflow or mapping, whatever it may be. So entire workflow from one repository to another repository by importing the XML. You can see here under Informatica folder, you can see the workflow, and just click on the workflow. If you select this, let us assume that we have created this pass-through mapping, right? If you let us assume that you want to migrate this to another folder, just click on this and go to repository, export objects. Okay, you see here, this is the XML which will be imported. Just select the corresponding directory which you want to save it. Just select save and it will import. Just close. So this has been imported. Now let us assume that you want to export into this demo1 folder. Just click on this demo1 and go to repository and import objects, browse and browse the XML file that which we have imported, pass through XML. Just open and next, and just add all, and next, and next, and it will ask replace. 1 second. Destination folder we need to select. Okay, replace. 1 second. Let me import to another repository. I will import to this test folder repository and import objects and browse. 1 second. Yeah, pass through mapping. Next, and add all, and next. Destination folder, I will select this test and OK, and next, and next, and I will select the replace. These are already existing in that particular source and I will use the default session, and next, and close and import. Now this entire workflow that which we have created in this folder, right, Informatica folder, that has been imported into workflow. 1 second, let me repository and save this. 1 second. Okay, and there are two ways to import the XMLs, to import the workflows. Like one is to import the XML and import and export, and another way is to through the deployment groups. You can see here the deployment groups. We are going to discuss in the upcoming classes the deployment groups. So this is about the repository manager. In real time, we only use the repository manager for migrating the code from one environment to another environment. Okay, we won't create any folders. The folders will be already in place. Just we will use these folders for migrating the code from one folder to another folder. So this is about the Informatica PowerCenter client tools on a high level. So the client is a designer, where we create the mappings, where we create the sources, structures, maplet, and transformation, usable transformations. And this is the workflow manager, where we create the sessions and workflows. And this is the workflow monitor, where we monitor all the workflows that which are running. And the repository manager, mainly we will use for the migrating the code from one environment to another environment, or else we can create the folders. So this is about the Informatica PowerCenter client tools. So that's it. Yeah, thanks.